So here we are again. We're approaching holiday and lots of cooking is going to be taking place in everybody's home. And today I am going to share with you how I season my bird to come up with a very tender, juicy, and well-seasoned meat. Now here are the ingredients to what I use. Start with butter. 1 stick is sufficient, but I have 1 little extra here, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And I have never tried this, but all this is a mixture of all kinds of herbs and spice with garlic, I guess the predominant spice that they have here, and salt-free. I would suggest that you use those that are salt-free, because basically when you buy something that's already seasoned with salt, it's predominantly salt. And with this here, you'll be able to control your salt intake. So I've used this for years now, and I know for a fact that this got a little bite to it, and that's one of the reasons why I'm going to use this, and I'm going to try this one as well to see how the result is. But the ingredients are pretty much the same, and naturally we'll use salt, and I'll be using the zest of this lemon. Okay, I'm going to use 2 because I really like the flavor, lemony flavor that it gives on my roast chicken. And let me give you a tip: roast turkey. My family just love how the turkey comes out very moist and juicy and tender with this seasoning that I have here. So let me go ahead and start the preparation, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, as you can see, just the very outer layers of this lemon. Okay, in the lemon zest, we're going to add a good teaspoon of salt. Naturally, you're going to season your bird a little more once you, well, I'll show you how I do it anyway. So 1 teaspoon of this mixture of herbs and spice. If I'm only using just that, I would get 2, but I want to try this, and I want to see the effect of that on my bird. So be sure that the butter is room temperature, so that it's really soft enough and much easier to mix. Okay, excuse me. This is just 1 little extra step on my food preparation, which is really well worth doing. And the outcome of your roast bird, whatever it might be. I first did this with turkey, and I've done chicken and turkey. Even quail, I believe it would work. So that's how it is, and it's that simple. Now you could use parchment paper if you want. I know I have parchment paper, but I'm debating whether I might be better off with cling wrap, so we're going to use cling wrap. Okay, put that butter and herb mixture in there. This is a very messy thing I'm doing here. Should have been more prepared for this, but let's get every bit of this in there. Okay, and we're gonna try to form it into a log, and it's important to allow this to chill before you use it, and you see why. Okay, so here we have the chicken that I'm going to roast today, and my butter is chilled. As you can see how hard that is. It's very hard. It don't have to be very hard like this, but I'm in a hurry, so I put it in a freezer for a little while and I took it right out. Now it's nice and firm right there. That's so that you could cut it without too much difficulty later on when you try to stuff it in the chicken, because that's what we're going to do. And by the next part of it, loosen up the skin, the breast skin on both sides. Be careful, try not to puncture the skin. If you have long nails and don't want to ruin your manicure and all that, you could just spoon, okay? Stick that in there with the rounded side up. Just stick that in there and it will loosen up the skin for you, okay? Stick on this side again, the other side, and I'm gonna try to show you on a camera. Okay, and just try and insert that spoon in there, loosen up the skin so that you could stick the butter in there. Now the butter, one piece of butter, stick that in there. There it is. One on this side, actually two on each side. It's gonna make it too rich, but that's the secret to this chicken. Or if this is a turkey, you don't look too pretty, but I promise you, it don't look too pretty, but it will be delicious. Okay, so let's tuck the wing under. There you go, so she don't flop around. Let's see if we could get some butcher twine, and I'm not concerned about tying up the whole bird. I'm just concerned about holding this leg together, the legs. Tie it up, since I can't seem to tuck it. Normally, if this would have been intact, I'll be able to push the legs in there, but they're not. So, okay, let's sprinkle her with some salt on this side, and I'm not gonna worry about black pepper, but I will sprinkle a little bit of garlic. Yes, folks, we love our garlic flavor. That's lots of garlic. Now, turn it on the other side, and a little bit of salt again, and be generous, you know, as much as you could, as much salt as you can put in your chicken to make sure it's flavored. Because remember, the butter have 1 teaspoon of salt in it, but you are not using the entire butter and herb mixture. You are actually not using much at all. So season the chicken well before you stick it in an oven. And I'm going to put it in another container. This is not where I'm going to bake this. I have this, I think they call this Dutch oven. I like this because it really holds the heat, and it really toasts or roasts the meat a lot better than this cookie sheet that I have here. So I'm gonna add the rest of this leftover celery and onion, and I suggest that when you make yours, put some bell pepper in it. I promise you, I regret that I don't have none, but I do love the bell pepper the aroma of it and the spiciness that it gives, the flavor to the chicken. I'm going to set mine on 385 degree. When the chicken skin is start to dry up and brown a little, then I will put the lid on it and put this on a low temperature, 375. Okay, so while our chicken is roasting in the oven, I went ahead and peeled some sweet potatoes. Probably about 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil. That's my measurement. Okay, that's extra virgin organic olive oil. And the same one of the seasoning that I use for the chicken, I'm going to drizzle, sprinkle that on this sweet potato as much as you want. Probably drizzle about 1 tablespoonful in there, a good amount. I like the spiciness that this herbs and spice gives to any of my roast. And just season it with salt, and let's just go ahead and toast that. Really coat all of that olive oil and seasoning. So here's our roast chicken, and also all around it is our roasted sweet potato, purple and orange sweet potato.